second round of the playoffs is off and running. We've got a pair of game twos lined up tonight on Prime. We start in the East with Spida and the Cavs against Cade and the Pistons. And later on out West, it's LeBron and the Lakers against SGA and the reigning NBA champs, the Thunder. Welcome on into the home of the NBA on Prime. I'm Taylor Brooks with Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Blake Griffin, and Udonis Haslam. Steve Nash, he's back.
Already, can't stay away.
Guess who's back in the?
Jeez. Oh,
Probably a little harsh for
A
this
little
hour.
harsh. A little harsh.
You just
Start it
couldn't
again.
quit us.
right up my
Yeah.
alley, though, Steve. I like that.
Are you glad your bestie's back?
So fired up.
You sound like it.
That's his guy.
Steve,
guy, though.
we are happy to have you. Great to see you here in the semifinals. And we have a fun game coming up. Cavs and the Pistons. Let's rewind to what happened so far in this series. In game one, Cade and the Pistons forced Harden and the Cavs into 20 turnovers, using some defense to fuel some offense. Then Max Strus's 19 off the bench helped to keep it close. But Ron Holland, big three at the end of the third. Duncan Robinson came through with 19 points of his own, and Danis Jenkins helped deliver the exclamation point as Detroit outscored Cleveland 18-8 in the final 5 minutes of a 10-point win. And that was Detroit's first Game 1 win since the 2008 playoffs. What was your biggest takeaway, BG?
Physicality and intensity. You know, Detroit just came off a series, a 7-game series, where they made it ugly. And they fought, they didn't care how it looked, but they got it done. And it felt like the type of basketball that they want to play. And to be quite honest, like, that's not Cleveland's strong suit. That's sort of been their Achilles heel in the playoffs, is not matching the physicality. I mean, they have the talent, they have the shot creation, they have the offensive firepower, they have the length. But in the playoffs, talent does not operate in peace. So you have to find that edge. You have to. Thank you. Write it down. Everybody write it down
I
right
got
now.
my pen right now.
Talent doesn't operate in peace. First time ever. I got a like for that from Steve Nash. But yeah, so you know, Detroit is comfortable playing that brand of basketball, and if I'm them, I keep trying to impose my will on that game, but Cleveland's going to have to match it.
Udita, you got a bar for us?
Oh, he always does.
But is that a Blakeism? Is that a BGism? Is we got a BGism, a Blakeism? No, for me, I just continue to be caught off guard by the lack of, like, goal. That's a basket. The possessions, like the carelessness with the basketball of Cleveland in the playoffs, like, it's just confusing to me, especially when you're playing a team like Detroit who struggles to score in the half court. Take nothing away from what they've been able to do, but the Magic gave us the blueprint. They're a one-trick pony in the half court. So how can you give these guys 31 points off turnovers? I got another stat for you. There's 5 guys that have been in the NBA that went to the playoffs 17 consecutive plus times. Stockton, Malone, Jason Kidd, Tony Parker, James Harden. Why the hell are you turning the ball over so much? You have been in the playoffs. You know what it's like to be in the playoffs. You understand playoff intensity. Why the hell are you turning the ball over? And it's so self-inflicted wounds. One-handed passes, things that I would take my son out the game if I was coaching him for throwing passes like that. Why are you having these kind of passes in these plays in the second round of the playoffs? I don't understand that.
Talk to him.
And I think their game plan, they might have to make some adjustments. I think in this deep drop, they're not throwing enough bodies at Cade. They're asking Dean Wade to navigate that screen. Cade's too big, too clever, and those screeners are big fellas. So Cade, for me, is the best player in the series. They don't have a great matchup for him. The drop is not a great coverage. He didn't even shoot the ball well, 6 of 19, 23 points, 7 assists, but he got wherever he wanted. And that makes me feel very uncomfortable if I'm a Cavaliers coach or player. So I think putting more heat, more bodies, coming off Thompson perhaps, making them find a solution for Thompson is going to be really important to try to slow down their offense and make this, you know, a game where you can outscore them. Right now, it feels like the opposite.
I thought the Pistons responded every time the Cavs made a little run. It was actually tied at 93 with 5 minutes to go. So if I'm the road team, I'm the Cavs. I like being in that position. A big game. It's a tied down the stretch, but who is my closer? Where are my closers? Is it going to be Spider? Am I going to Harden? Is it going to be Mobley? But just not enough. The Pistons finished the game on an 18-8 run, and Dern had 3 dunks in that span. And just so overall, I thought the Cavs didn't respond there at the end of the game and really didn't finish.
And this series has that feel like the games could be close. Detroit, though, is leading the NBA with 30 clutch wins in the regular season and the playoffs. It is time now for the Drive to Tip-Off, presented by CarMax. Evan Mobley and the Cavs are looking for a big win on the road in Game 2 tonight in Detroit. He had 14, 9, and 5 in the series opening loss on Tuesday. The Duncan Robinson, he's shooting 40% on threes in the playoffs. Knocked down 5 of them in Detroit's Game 1 win. Pistons and Cavs in the East semifinals tonight on Prime.
NBA on Prime pregame is presented by CarMax.
Great win in these playoffs and a 2-0 series lead. Now, there is some bad news for the Knicks, though. OG Anunoby has been diagnosed with a right hamstring strain. Will be day-to-day. He's going to be listed as questionable for tomorrow's game against the Sixers. And, Steve, it is impossible to overstate just how big he has been for the Knicks this postseason.
OG's been on the heater. I think they've won 5 straight now. I mean, they're playing their best basketball at the right time. We all know his versatility. He's capable offensively, but these offensive numbers, 21.5 points, almost 9 rebounds, almost 2 steals, 62% from the floor, 54% from 3. I mean, this guy can play in any lineup and is on fire. So if you're a Knicks fan, you are concerned.
And you don't need him. You don't need him if you're the Knicks right now. And I say this with as much respect, as great as he is. Right now, there's no resistance coming from the Philadelphia 76ers right now. Yes, the New York Knicks are the more physical team. I will give them the paint points. Why are they winning the fast break points 31-11? Why are they winning the points off turnovers 48-22? That is the area you have to dominate. If you're the smaller team, you're the more athletic team, you have to dominate those areas. So, yes, OG's out. He's been playing great. But if the Knicks don't draw a line, if Philadelphia doesn't draw a line in the sand, it's going to be the same result.
Well, let's go out west. On Monday, Anthony Edwards, he returned from his knee injury, and boy, did he make a big difference for Minnesota. Julius Randle scored a game-high 21, and the Timberwolves escaped with a huge 2-point win on the road in Game 1. But Game 2, that was a much different story for Stephon Castle and the Spurs. They led by 24 at the half. Wemby put up 19 points, 15 boards, and the Spurs evened up this series with a 38-point win. Now, Minnesota scored 35 points in the fourth quarter in Game 1. The Spurs held them to 35 points in the first half of Game 2. What was the difference between those two games, BG?
Well, I mean, first of all, Game 2 kind of showed you how little a margin of error Minnesota has with all these missing pieces, which is unfortunate, but it's also what I love about playoff basketball. Minnesota put a beautiful game plan together. Game 1 came out, executed. Game 2, San Antonio made the adjustments, came out and executed, and that's what is so fun about the playoffs. But San Antonio did such a good job of just focusing in on the things that they already do well. They're leading the NBA in fast break points in the playoffs, and they got out and ran. They got 27 fast break points in Game 1. They had 29 in Game 2. They were running after made baskets, which you don't often see in the playoffs. Usually the game slows down. And secondly, Wemby sort of looked like he figured something out. The physicality of Minnesota sort of threw him off his game a little bit in Game 1, and this time he was a little bit more intentional. He caught in certain spots, he got around, he used his length. So their mindset offensively in Game 2 was what you want to see for the Spurs.
It was the Spurs defense for me. They held the Wolves to under 30% shooting in the first half, 32% from 3. They were all over. They were swarming. They forced them into some tough shots, late clock situations. They forced 11 turnovers. So to me, that was a big key. The game was basically over at half. The Wolves had only hit 35 points, and they were already down 24. So give the Spurs a lot of credit. They were down 0-1. They were at home. They used the disposition, the aggression, and turn that first half into their advantage.
Yeah, everything was different. 102 points in Game 1, 133 in Game 2, 28% from 3 in Game 1, 41% in Game 2. The Spurs and Timberwolves will play an hour doubleheader tomorrow. But tonight is James Harden and the Cavs against the Pistons. The countdown to tip-off continues on.
Lakers Thunder, round 2. And we are underway. Hachimura got the ball. Another three. Let's go! Steal. James Brennan. Oh, it can't be done any better than that, baby. Mitchell, you can't do it again. Splash City to take a Thunder money boat. Thunder will advance it to 5-0.
I mean, there's really no other way to say this. The Lakers have their hands full. They have the defending champs. They are led by the MVP favorite. And in Game 1, they limited Shea, but doing that has its own trade-offs, BG.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers came into game one with a anybody but Shea mentality. They loaded up to him, got the ball out of his hands early, and forced somebody else to make plays. And I get it. I understand the thinking. I understand the game plan. You can see here a lot of attention on a Shea drive, easy pass, easy little hook shot for Hartenstein, Dirk. But the problem is Oklahoma City is so uniquely built to punish that strategy. I mean, Shea makes the right read. You're scrambling. So for me, it's not so much about the decision to get the ball out of Shea's hand. It's what do you do after that, right? Can you scramble back? Can you plug the gaps a little bit more? Can you load up and give whoever that is coming off of Shea a little bit more time? Because as you saw, Oklahoma City had a lot of time to knock down some shots, and they made them pay. But with Oklahoma City, you have to take away something. If everything's important, nothing's important. So I understand the game plan.
Yeah, I like the game plan. I mean, they rattled, OKC looked rattled at times a little bit. They turned the ball over 16 times. Shea had 7 turnovers. So I didn't mind it. I think the Lakers turned it over 18 times themselves, and they got to shoot a little better. I think that's the biggest issue. I think they stopped as much as they can with that defensive ability the Lakers have. They did a good job on defense, and they scrambled it up. They junk it up like they always do, get the ball out of their hands. They didn't send Shea to the free throw line. So I thought overall they did a lot of things right and good. But on offense, they got to play a little better, make some shots, and less turnover themselves.
Well, yeah, speaking of that, we got to talk about Austin Reeves. It is worth saying that he just returned from his oblique injury, but in game one, he missed 13 of 16 shots, including all 5 of his threes. What do you make of his struggles?
Well, part of this is obviously coming back, and this is a tough team to come back against, and obviously playing one-on-one basketball. They're the second team. They're ranked second in the NBA in one-on-one. The Lakers run a lot of guard-to-guard screens. They run a lot of ghost screens to get those matchups for Austin. Obviously, when you're talking about a team that's going to guard you and be physical with you, your conditioning comes into play. So some of those open threes that he might have made early in the season, I think those things were a little bit tougher for him. But if I look at him today and I'm going in this game, you don't want to hunt those guard-to-guard matchups. I think you want to get more of that pick and roll with the 5-man going downhill and also being on the second side as an offensive guy, coming off on some dribble handoffs, getting downhill, getting in that paint, being able to be active that way. You're not going to just line these guys up and being able to attack these guys in one-on-one. That is a recipe for disaster against OKC. So I expect JJ and those guys to make some adjustments to make it a little easier for him.
4 straight games for the Lakers under 100 points. Very difficult to beat OKC if you can't get up there. And I think this Austin Reeves situation is just going to be difficult for him. You're playing the best defense in the league. You've been out for 4 or 5 weeks. Even if he makes 5 for 5, they still lose. They're 15-point dogs every night. So this is a tough situation for the Lakers. I thought they played well. They're just not as good as OKC.
Oklahoma City makes a living off of making really good scores look pretty average. It's not just AR. So
Yeah, and they tend to succeed at doing just that. All right, the Lakers and Thunder in our nightcap later. But in our first game, it's Jalen Duren and the Pistons looking for a 2-0 series lead against the Cavs. And it is time for Same Game Parlay, presented by FanDuel. Donovan Mitchell, he had 23 points in game one. How many will he have tonight, Dirk?
I'm going with 25 plus. They need a big game out of him and get going.
Okay, Duncan Robinson hitting 40% of his threes in the playoffs. What you got, Steve?
Got to be a priority for the Cavs, so I'm going to say only 2 tonight.
Okay, BG, Evan Mobley, he had 9 rebounds in the game one loss. How many boards?
He's got his hands full with these physical Detroit bigs. He's got to have at least 9 tonight.
Okay, UD, Kate, he had 23 points in game one, averaging 31 in the playoffs. What are you expecting?
Shot about 31% from the field last game. I assume that he'll shoot better tonight, so I'm going to go with 24.
Okay, start tonight off right with the FanDuel Happy Hour, because from 5 to 10 p.m. Eastern, FanDuel is serving 3 30% profit boosts to use on any NBA bet. So just head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now to score better payouts during the NBA. Detroit basketball. Speaking of, Cade Cunningham. He led the team with 23 points and 7 assists in the game one win. But most importantly, he was just controlling the game, controlling the offense. How did he find success, PG?
You know, the issue is he kind of just did it by what he does best. And in the playoffs, you sort of want to take that away. And he's an unbelievable player, so you're not going to guard him with just one guy. But he was just able to get to his spots, and it felt like he didn't have much pressure. Right, the drop coverage that Cleveland's in allowed him to just come off a screen, and Dean Wade does a great job. They have some great defenders over there, but it's impossible to get through every screen. And Cade does such a good job at playing under control and just taking what the defense gives him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a hell of an offensive basketball player, and when he has the ball, it's not 1-on-1. It's not even 2-on-1. It is 5-on-1. All of these guys should be active. If you see right here now, you see Cade coming off right here. As you see, once he catches that ball right there, Evan Mobley should be stepping up to that elbow even a little bit further because he has Thompson. We're not worried about Thompson. Even if he cuts through, you have Donovan on that backside. Stay up there on that elbow and give him something to see. Maybe get a late contest. Just help Dean Wade out a little bit. Once again, he comes off right here. We look at it, he comes off. Donovan is sitting there in that corner. Shrink up a little bit. You can go up the line, on the line, and make that a more difficult shot, getting your hand in there, or once again, a late contest. Right here, we have James. He's in the right position. Just slide over a little bit. Guess what? If he makes that pass over there to Thompson, if he makes that pass in the corner, we won that defensive possession because we took the ball out of Cade Cunningham's hands. So let's take a look at something I would like to see. Cade needs to operate in traffic every time. He needs to operate in the crowd. So let's take a look. I'll be Mobley. Steve, I guess we'll let you be Cade.
Point guard, the point guard gets to play point guard every time.
Thank you.
Dirk, you can be Allen on the drop.
Okay.
So as he comes off, you're on the drop coverage. You can get back a little bit more because they're usually back a little bit more. But I actually like that. They don't need to be back as far. I think you could take maybe just a half a step up. That's Thompson right here. As I'm Mobley, I'm shrinking this elbow here. I don't care where he goes. I have Mitchell on that backside. He can talk to me. That pass has to be made there. Even if Mitchell switches and that's Duncan comes up and Thompson goes down, let Thompson go down. You take Duncan. I'll get back to Thompson. We'll figure that out. But the ball is a priority. He has to operate in the crowd every single time he has the ball, and you have to make it very tough on him. If he makes that pass, that is a win for the defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's sounds simple. Cade did a fantastic job, but I mean, you hit the nail on the head, UD. Use that length. I mean, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, they have so many guys that can plug gaps. And, you know, almost Orlando showed us the game plan, right? Use that length. Come off of Asar Thompson and make those guys pass the ball. It has to be anybody but Cade.
Especially how Detroit shoots the ball from the outside. That is not their strength. So you want to keep them out of the paint. You want to show boxes and elbows. You want to make it tough on Cade. You want to get the ball out of his hands. And you live with some of the three-point shooters.